Okay. Just gonna check over YouTube real quick before I get going. See what's going on. Alright, we're live. Alright, we are live again. Sweet. So, back. Live. Playing Hearts of Iron 4. So, that was my practice game earlier. Yeah, new game. I haven't streamed this before. I've had it for a little around a month-ish. Maybe just over, just under. Can't really quite remember exactly when I got this. I already got like 118 hours logged in. Most of that was learning how to play the fucking game. But yeah, I thought, what the fuck, stream it. Might be a thing to do on my Sundays when I'm not doing D&D, which I'm going to start hosting myself now. For those who are not aware, I have been doing D&D for a while now on alternate Sundays. Kiri, whose channel I don't remember offhand because I've never been there and I'm a horrible friend for that, has been hosting the recordings of all of our sessions to date. But now that I've got my audio hiccups with OBS and everything else sorted out, I'm going to start doing that myself as well. Probably next week, which will be the next week that we play, I'll have links ready to go in the descriptions of my D&D streams to link to his stuff so you guys can see the backlog. Anyway, this game. Yeah, World War II, obviously, as if Hitler didn't give it away. And that's what we'll be playing as right now. We get to be Hitler, guys. It's about the last 40 to 70 or 80. I don't really... Probably 40. A little under. Yeah, last 40 hours or so of my playing of this game. I've been actively hunting achievements. Actually, gotta turn that off, I think. That just determines whether or not the AI is doing historical shit on time. Which I think it's more fun and unpredictable if you don't. Because I kind of want to do some wacky shit with this game. So yeah, I've been achievement hunting. I'm trying to get the 2 German achievements, and I got one earlier tonight, and then the game went completely tits up when Russia attacked because I failed to do something I wanted to do, which I'm going to be doing in this game, because I know what I did wrong. And so I'm going to be trying to get the achievement for controlling mainland England as Germany. Let's save this as stream. Game Germany. So I'll explain a little bit of what I'm doing for people who aren't familiar with the game. But it's a very learn-as-you-go type game, so... And I'm still learning, so I'm probably not the best at explaining, so I'm gonna kind of keep it brief and... maybe gloss over some things and let you guys just watch and enjoy the stupid that is going to be coming. So, time stopped right now, as you can see. And research. Let's pick our research first. It's January 1st, 1936, so let's catch up on some of our outdated infantry equipment there. Let's see, our tanks are caught up. Although, I think... Yes, frankly, I don't really have the resources to start building heavy tanks just yet. I'm going to really wait until I can start building Tigers before I do that. I feel like my heavy tanks I had in my last game didn't really contribute nearly as much as my medium tanks did early game. But just because you can't really pump out heavy tanks as easily. Although it might not be a bad idea to... Because these little side things are basically like alternate vehicle configurations for your tanks. The top one is anti-tank, artillery, and then anti-air. And I'm wondering if I want to do... Do I want to do anti-tank on this? Because basically what anti-tank does is it upgrades the tank by 1 category in terms of how much damage it does to other tanks, as far as my understanding goes. So light tanks can beat the shit out of medium tanks if you have a light tank heavy destroyer. Tank destroyer rather, and heavy tank destroyers can pretty much just wipe the floor with anything that isn't a heavy tank. So, you know what? Fuck it. Just go big. Just figure out how 30 meals work, or I'm probably mispronouncing it. I'm gonna mispronounce a lot of things in this game. English is my native and pretty much only language, so. Alright. Also not gonna make the mistake I did last time and neglect my artillery. Alright, I'll leave that for now. The other thing we're gonna need is engineering. That's gonna make our research time faster, forget that. There's also little like descriptions if you hover over things. Which, the only ones I think I'm really gonna do for reading these descriptions off is gonna be the things, and the next thing I'm gonna look at in a second. As soon as I finish building, so just real quick, I want to do that and that, that. I want to do that, 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 and that. That's going to be good to get me started. Alright. And what I just did, I did say to explain things, I'm sorry. This little icon, civilian factories, for building your civilian factories. Civilian factories are what build your buildings, produce civilian goods, which I think helps determine how quickly your manpower availability comes back. I'm not entirely 100% sure what goods do yet. I haven't really dug into that side of the game's mechanics quite yet. But basically civilian factories build the basis of your ability to expand and build your industries and your infrastructure and everything else, which, that's your infrastructure by the way, is just a nice easy thing. Represents all your roads, railways, and other assorted infrastructure as per the name. The other thing I built was military factories, which is what directly builds your equipment for your units. And so a good thing to do offhand when you start a game is build a bunch of civilian factories and build a bunch of military factories. And if you have a huge surplus of civilian factories, when you start like really getting into the nit-grit of war, you can convert civilian factories into military factories and vice versa. That's faster than just building them from scratch. That's not really a tactic I've quite gotten the hang of yet. I usually just build a bunch of both at the start and then just kind of hope I built enough. I'm trying to break from that and actually use my brain and plan shit. I should probably put factories in there. Yeah, I'm gonna put military factories in there. You know, I also should probably build a couple of refineries. Refineries make synthetic oil, which makes you less dependent on oil-rich countries for oil. So for now, that's good. So the thing I said I'm going to read the description of probably is this thing, the focus tree. And this is basically literally represents what are we focusing on doing. So for the purpose of the main focus of this game, if I can exit out both these real quick, is I'm trying to get the achievement for, as I said, Operation Sea Lion, controlling all of this. So to start off with, if I can find my Navy tab here, this is my Navy. I have 2 battleships, 2 heavy cruisers, 6 light cruisers, 12 destroyers, and 14 submarines. That is shit compared to England. I have played as all the major countries at this point at least 3 times. And I can tell you right now, that is not a strong enough navy to even think of trying to wrest the seas around England from the United Kingdom to launch an invasion. So one of the first things we're going to want to do, because it's going to lead to some neat things in the future, because this game has a little bit of alternate history built in. What we're going to eventually do is we're going to start with this, naval rearmament. And we're going to go down this tree, and this little symbol means that that's a branch that are mutually exclusive. Now, historically, what the AI does, because it mimics what Germany actually did, is they go for U-boat effort, which gives them a bunch of research bonuses to researching U-boats and submarine types, and gives them some more dockyards to build them with. And then that leads to trade interdiction doctrine research time, which gives you faster research for learning how to fuck people's convoys up with your U-boats, like the actual Kriegsmarine did. What we're going to do is Plan Z. Plan Z leads to a plan, very redundant sentence, of befriending Denmark, Norway, Netherlands, and Sweden, and slowly converting them from within to being fascist nations, and then pulling them into the Axis to add their navies to our navies, which will then give us the edge we need over England. I have yet to 100% successfully pull this off. Usually what happens is I'll get one or two of them converted over, then they'll immediately declare war on the other two. And I guess that's fine, but, you know, I want to play nice, but fuck them. While we're doing that, we're also going to want to go down this tree, Army Innovation, and get our treaties with the USSR for research, which historically happened, and then that leads to the historical Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, which was eventually broken by the Germans. But we're not going to break it. We are going to try and build to get this. And some of these have, when you're playing as Germany, have special requirements. You can see here, requires at least 850,000 manpower in divisions in the field. That means we need a shit ton of boots on the ground. If we have a big enough army, then we can do this. And then once we do that, as long as we're not at war, and this is the part where I fucked up earlier today when I was trying to get both this and the true Blitzkrieg achievement for making both Poland and France surrender before January 1st, 1940, which I got. But I went to war too soon. I went and I did this thing over here, Danziger War, which automatically forces a war with Poland if Poland refuses the ultimatum that sends them to give them the territory of Danzig. Hang on. Good Dr. Peppa. And since that forced the war, I was unable to actually finish researching my alliance with the USSR. And so eventually, as happens, the Soviets had enough of my fascist ways and brought the glorious revolution of communism to my doorstep. And I had just finished beating the shit out of England, and I was well on my way to getting the second achievement. All I had to do was defeat Switzerland, who England desperately invited into the war at like the last possible second as I was marching on Scotland with Rommel in the lead there. Since they're technically a major power, I guess, apparently. They're a generic-ass nation with a generic-ass treaty like this, but without their own unique flavor like Germany and the other tribes have. But they did that because since they count as a major faction leader, then I needed to take down them in order to fully affect the surrender. I needed to get the achievement and take the territory that would unlock it. So, yeah, I got fucked over by Sweden. But then the Soviets like, you're all tired from duking it out over across the ocean the hard way, aren't you? Well, we know what to do with that. Anyway, so it's gonna change this time. I hope. We're also gonna want to go down this tree at some point relatively early on. All these innovation trees, by the way, what they do is they give you research bonuses for the namesake branches of your forces. Obviously, air for your air force, army for your army, and make it faster for researching new technologies, which will give Germany, because they have so many of these and they're so short down their trees, Germany gets kind of an edge in research to get caught up to speed pretty quickly. It usually has all of their military technology by 1939 in time for the historical start of the war. So let's just go ahead and get that started without any more yapping on my end. The Anglo-German Naval Agreement was secured in 1935. Allows us to expand our navy greatly. We should spare no effort in doing so. So I didn't do this like right away, my last game, and I think that's what fucked me, because it took me so long to get to England that England was able to eventually build up enough support in Sweden to get Sweden to want to join the Allies. So I'm thinking if I can get my navy down pat quickly, and also get to working on converting these guys quickly, I could head that off at the pass, as it were, and then make it so that once the time comes, we can just steamroll across the fucking English Channel and just march straight on London and do what I did, where I took London and I just had my army just steamroll its way up here through England and Scotland. You have unassigned divisions. That's all these little guys here. Infantry, more infantry. I know I have something else around here somewhere. My SS motorized division. Everyone starts out with different divisions, obviously. I'm not going to set this just yet. First, we're going to go to the production screen. This is where you make your equipment. We have 20 factories free and 1 dockyard, which, big whoop. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our submarines to be produced and placed into our first U-boat division, and I'm gonna queue up another set of submarines later. Which one holds my cruisers? It's my light cruiser. It's my heavy cruiser. The Kriegsmarine has my cruisers. And I think over here, yeah, you have my battleships. A good chunk of my destroyers. Do you have any of my destroyers? I think you do. You have 4 of my destroyers, but you're mostly on my cruisers. So to start with, so I really got to pay attention to this. All of our cruisers are in the Kriegsmarine. Some of our destroyers. So this is pretty much our escort fleet, essentially. This is the fleet that protects our convoys. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign a commander. And I'm going to look for a particular symbol here in a second. This one here, the little runnel symbol, is the blockade runner trait, which gives him the ability to retreat faster and move faster when retreating. And it allows him to disengage from naval combat faster. That's very useful when you're escorting convoys, because if the convoy's pretty much fucked, then there's no reason to stay and fight. And that allows them to break off, move to the next convoy, and try again to protect them. So, we're going to select our Kriegsmarine now that it has a commander. And we're going to put them on escort duty. Yeah, the only real supplies we got going on here is going from main Germany to this little territory we control just above Poland. But eventually we'll have more. So I'm actually gonna leave the Kriegsmarine alone for a minute. So this is our first submarine fleet, and I'm gonna give you the Seawolf trait commander here. There's a level 5 admiral, and Seawolf gives you 20% more attack us with submarines, and that's where I've currently told my 8 submarines I'm building to go. So we're going to have 12 submarines. Is that right? No. 14. 14 submarines in total. And this one. And then I think my other submarines are over here. Yeah, and I'll build 6 more submarines over here after I build the ones for over here. And then these guys will be able to also have a good time of it. I want to give you... I'll give you this guy. Let's give you Gunther. Now, where was that battleship fleet? Here we are. I've got the battleship fleet. My highest experience, skill level guy with the superior tactician trait. This is an okay trait, kinda. I think it actually gives a passive benefit to defense that's not being listed. which is unrelated to the name. But basically what it is he's a staunch sort of traditionalist from, you know, the old way of thinking, like the World War I way of thinking, basically. And that means that he gains experience slower, because he already thinks he knows what he's doing. It's very much a negative trait to have on your commanders, but it's not the end of the world. They still gain experience and get better, but they get slower experience. So I'm going to set you, since I'm not actively at war, you're going to patrol the Baltic Sea. Just for now. So now we know what our fleet setup is. So we're going to send our destroyers to our battleship fleet. Give them a hand. Actually, no. Let's put our destroyers. Let's just focus everything besides the submarines and the Kriegsmarine for now, and then we'll build other ships later for the other one. In fact, let's tack another another dockyard on that heavy cruiser. As you can see, that pretty much halved how much time it's going to take to build it. These red numbers that are 0 mean that I need to get resources, which I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And if people think it's boring because nothing's happening, this is kind of how the start of the game. It's kind of your setup phase. You take the time to plan everything out while you have time stopped. It's like when you're playing SimCity. It's that beginning boring part where you're doing all the forward-thinking shit, making sure you have everything exactly how you like it, so that when you start just speeding up time to max, because screw playing time at any normal sort of speed when there's nothing else going on, that you can trust that everything's exactly how you want it already and nothing's going to get screwed up. So I'm going to start building some anti-air. I'm going to start stockpiling. I'm going to stockpile some heavy tanks for now. But I'm not really going to do it that way. We'll build 1 tank a day. For now. Eventually we'll be able to raise that amount. Let's increase how many factories we're giving to our fighter planes. Close air support pretty much get stockpiled. Our tactical bombers. Let's increase that. Let's hold off on the strategic bombers. And do we have anyone building motorized? I believe we do, yep. We're building a motorized today. Our support equipment's going pretty smooth and dandy. So for now, let's leave the rest of those factories blank. So now we can start time up and speed it up. Speeds it to the max. And while it's sped up, let's start training troops. And then here we can... Let me pause time again for a second, sorry. This is what these are divisions that you're training. This is the template screen. This is what makes up each unit of division. You can tell, you know, how many troops are in the division with these icons and what those troops are. In this case, we have Mountaineers. And as you can see, we can add support equipment to them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change them to Elite. That means that they get prioritized with better equipment, faster reinforcement rates, so on and so forth. And the reason I want to do that is because Mountaineers count as what is known as a commando unit, and that's that they specialize in terrain types. And one of those terrain types, in this case the Mountaineers type, is mountains and hills, which is pretty much everything that's around the Maginot Line. So if and when the time comes that we decide to fuck France, we're going to want a decent chunk of these guys. And I'm going to tell it to build about... Let's call it 20. In fact, actually, no, let's do it in 2 groups of 10. We're going to build these guys in 2 groups of 10. I'm pretty sure we start off with fairly low amounts of panzers, so let's train us some panzers. Let's train them in Brandenburg. Let's train these guys down here, where they're going to be near the front line. Actually, you know what? We probably don't actually need 10 of these guys, so let's just do 2 groups of 5. Train them faster. And a trick of training on pause time, as you can see, is you see the screen, this bar. This is the equipment needed to train the unit. The faster that builds, the more you can afford to build more at once. And then this is how long they've been in training, and when that bar hits max, they'll come out as a trained unit as opposed to an untrained unit. Because you can rush deploy them once they have enough guys to get their boots on the ground and enough training to hold their gun straight. But they won't be effective in combat. In fact, they'll actually have a penalty in combat because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And basically, the faster you can get supplies going to these, the more you can build. Which is why I'm stockpiling things that I don't need yet. So that in the future, when I do start using those pieces of equipment in my divisions, I'll be able to just start pumping out like shit tons of guys. I'm going to hold off on infantry for the moment, just because I really want to get these guys trained up. There we go. There we go. Sweet. Alright. And these are our support divisions. They all do different things. I'll kind of explain them as I put them into divisions, but for now, the ones we really want to get, we want to get maintenance, and we want to eventually get logistics. I'll explain why when I start using them. Because for now I can't use it, because this is my Army experience, my Navy, my Air Force experience. And you can use these for a couple different things. But pretty much the one you always use, because I tend to ignore the other two. And I know I can get like tons of micromanagey, game-enhancing things that'll make my armies better if I really get to using these other two. But these other two are really only used to make variations of existing ships and planes. And you can do the same thing with this. You can make variations on tanks and artillery and things, but I don't really mess with that. I also use Army experience to change my templates. And I'll explain why later again when I start messing with my templates. So, time stopped, I have a setting turned on where time automatically stops when these windows pop up. They give me a chance to kind of look at what's going on. So we finished our naval rearmament. So now, which one do I want to keep going down? Yeah, let's just do this. Now we're going to do naval effort. The expansion of our Navy should be our first priority. Assign all available resources to the new dockyards and research it to light surface ships. So we're going to get our research basically for our cruisers and our destroyers. And when I close that, time automatically starts back up. Very handy setting. Alright, so dockyards are free. I think we just finished... Okay, no, we didn't finish anything, but we have free dockyards now because we just built a bunch for free automatically, instantly, through that focus. And that's kind of the cool thing with the focuses. They just give you factories and things like that, just automatically, just boom, here you go. So... what do I really want to build? Like, definitely submarines. Yeah, that cruiser's actually a little obsolete, I think. Or is that just an alternate version of... I really can't see what the difference between these... Ah, okay, so the piercing's level. So this is a pre-made upgrade that you start off with. You sometimes have upgraded versions of things starting out to represent a historical class or variation of a ship or a plane or whatever that was produced at the time that the game starts. But I'm going to go with the submarine. We're going to build 6 of you. So make sure all of our remaining factories are assigned to you. I'm going to put you in that. And I forgot to do this. I should have done this sooner. Oil. We need 24 oil. And we're going to get that shit for the Soviet Union. What else do we need? We need rubber. Let's trade with... I'd rather trade with somebody because normally it's 8 for 1. So I kind of want to trade with somebody who's going to give me a decent fucking deal here. Yeah, alright, so that's all we need for now. So let's go get sorted out there. So our factories are free. So let's get to building those tank destroyers. So we'll have blank for now. Alright. Let's zoom out a bit here. Let's just get all these divisions grouped up and good to go. Alright. So 30 is a little higher than what most generals. Generals have a limit of 24. But we have some field marshals, so let's give them a let's give them a defensive field marshal. Von Runslet. And Von Runslet will basically just, this will be our, let's just name this. Let's call this the main German army. That way every time you hover over it down here, we'll know exactly what the fuck it is. Alright, now that this has gone up, this is our political power. It goes up by a set amount every day. And political power lets us buy different things. One of the first things we're going to buy here, though, is yeah, we're going to build we're going to grab Rudolf Hefts because we're going to eventually lose him. And what he does is he makes this number grow faster. And there's a second guy the Germans have that does the same thing. And what you want to do, at least in my opinion, you want to grab both very early on to maximize how fast you're building up your political power. I'll pause for a second while I pick a research. There we go. We're going to research machine tools, which lets our efficiency cap on how much stuff we're building on our assembly lines increase. Alright, so you got 70,000 troops in training. So you know what we're gonna do? Let's train some SS. Let's train some base infantry. Alright, we learned how anti-tank shit works. And we finished our naval efforts. Let's do Plan Z real quick. Admiral Rader believes that the British can be best be defeated through a policy of surface raiding. Constructing enough battleships and carriers to accomplish this will be a massive task. It will take time, perhaps too much time. On the other hand, our current surface navy is pathetically inadequate, which is very true. So we're going to do that. And now that we have our first batch of upgrades, it's still gonna take too long. Still gonna take too long. So we're gonna wait a minute, because the next thing we're gonna get from Plan Z is our battleships and our carriers are gonna get research boosts, which will make them research 50% faster. So we'll take care of that when that time comes. So for the time being, what's the best thing to research here? Let's improve artillery. It's gonna take too long. Alright, it's gonna take most of the year, but let's do mechanical computing because that brings research time down another 3%. Alright, a bunch of factories just freed up because we finished that cruiser. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and build some more destroyers. Let's build 6 destroyers, and we'll send them to our battleship fleet to help protect our battleships. Alright, now that we know how anti-tank works, we can start building towed anti-tank. Alright, so the Spanish Civil War just broke out, which is a good thing. So what we're going to do... There we go. So we're going to take you and you. Actually... No, we're gonna leave them back in that army. We can take this guy. Oh, time was going. I don't want time to go just yet. Do I have anyone with the commando trait? Commando trait makes commando type things better. Here we go. Kurt Student has commando. So what we're going to do here, this is a thing you can do if you're a fascist or communist, is we're going to support the fascist Spanish party, and we're going to send volunteer forces. Our limit based on the land that they control is 2. So we're going to send this guy who's got the 2 mountaineers, because there's tons of mountains and hills in Spain. And we're just going to send him. Spain's allowing this. And eventually he's going to arrive in Spain with his 2 guys. We can command him there. And he's going to get some experience for our army. And score some brownie points with fascist Spain while we're at it. So we help them out with their civil war. All that is going all according to plan. There we are. So we're going to slow time just a little bit, so that things don't move too fast while we're doing shit. So now that we're at war, we can do battle plans. We can do them at any time anyway, but so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, I'm going to drag my battle plan. I'm going to tell them to start there. And I'm going to draw the offensive line, which is where they're going to fight their way to. They're going to fight to Barcelona. So now they're moving. And eventually what will happen is when they get there, I'll hit this button that's going to activate the battle plan, which is going to have them start pushing that line. Modify government. Let's get our other silent workhorse. Silent workhorse. So now we're chugging on that. So we are building these pretty regularly now. So I'm gonna increase both of these. I'm gonna increase that. I got one more factory. Let's increase that. Let's pause time for just a second. So we're going to do our oil. Increase the amount of factories we're trading away to the Soviet Union for oil. That's one of the other uses for factories, is you trade them for resources. That should be all we need. Let's trade to the Soviets for some chromium. That chromium for our tanks. Alright, so this checkmark means that plan's, it's a good plan, solid strategy. It's not going to be difficult at all. It's going to be quite easy for him to execute it. And as you can see, actually changed now to a yellow. And yellow means that there's some risk, but it's still... I accidentally paused. It's still something that's doable. And there's also a red icon that can be there next to that arrow that represents that it's dangerous to do this action. I generally ignore the red one, frankly. So as you can see, they're pushing. This little green thing is how much we're winning or losing the battle. If we're losing, it's red. If we're winning, it's green. And it's always pointing at whoever's being attacked. So it's showing that we're attacking him. It's 90% in our favor. If that reaches 100, then we push him out of the territory and we start moving it. Barring anything happening that will force our guys to have to abandon the attack to hold the line or something. Speaking of the line, they're currently executing in a balanced manner, which is the default. And what that means is they try not to extend that front line, so they don't overextend themselves and get fucked up. You can also be aggressive, where they ignore that part, and they'll expand and attack anything that's just undefended or weak, and they'll do their best to just keep pushing forward, regardless of the sanity of doing so. And the opposite of that is to do carefully, where they'll pretty much never attack if there's any sort of heavy resistance or fortifications in the way. And they'll focus entirely on soft, easy targets. Take it slow and steady. I'm not going to read that. Short version of that is that's the Soviets doing a thing where if they want to keep Stalin in power, they start killing officers and generals within their military and their various advisors and shit to basically try to purge Trotsky's supporters. So now we've done Plan Z, we can befriend Denmark. Gunboat diplomacy is not dead yet. Our naval expansion plans are well known to our little northern neighbor. In combination with their fear of our vastly superior armies, it should be easy enough to intimidate them into our sphere of influence. So what that's going to do is, once that finishes, we're going to slowly start building fascist support in Denmark passively by existing. Because they're scared to death of us. Alright, so that Panzer Division can go in here. I'll name that army later. I don't even name this army yet, but fuck it. Call them the Mountain Commandos. The K, because they're German. Alright, still pause time because I forgot to do that. And let's speed things up a tick, just so things are going a little faster. And I can also click on that little thing to, oh, it disappeared. For a half second you saw it. It shows you like a breakdown of what's going on in the battle. If I click here, it's going to show us what they're doing. So what they're doing right now is they're just kind of pushing into empty territory. And you see there, he's going back up there because they kind of expanded south a little too fast. So it'll be advantageous to them to kind of shrink the front back down by consolidating territory up there and coming in like that. So yeah, if I click here, it's kind of a 50-50 battle, though. Communist Spain's kind of winning out a little. But that's likely to change, as it just is right now. Which is kind of disappointing. We haven't gotten any land experience from any of this yet, but so be it. So the Olympics just happened. That doesn't do anything. Just a neat little like historical thing that pops up. Okay, the Olympics happened. Zoom out, get an idea of what's going on in Spain. Okay, well, this is one of the faster civil wars then. Which probably once Barcelona here falls, the war's over. Hey, we got 1 point of experience. Go us. How's our... So about 10 days we'll have some research done. Alright, so I'm leading the charge here, and we're slowly winning. 98, 99, and boom, done. War's over, and since our guys were volunteers, they're being sent back now to that little icon is. Spanish Civil War has ended. And we got our basic machine tools and our maintenance company. Sweet. So let me pause time again for a second while we do this, because every day that passes, you know, is kind of precious when you're just doing nothing but sitting there looking at things that aren't getting done. So we're going to do dispersed industry, which protects our factories from bombing. They don't pump out as much raw numbers, but they don't get damaged as much by bombs, and they will also be more flexible to changing what's being produced, which is very effective when you're doing a lot of upgrades like we're going to be doing. Because upgrades reduce efficiency for some time as you basically change out what parts are being produced on the assembly line. Okay, and as you can see, we got this done, so let's start learning how to build aircraft carriers. It's going to be important. I'm gonna wait to give him orders until the volunteers come back, which will be on September 16th, so tomorrow. Alright. So I don't think there's really... Oh yeah, also, you may have noticed all the music playing in the background. It's a mod that adds a bunch of German marches. I always turn it on when I'm playing Germany. Kind of helps set the mood. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do here, we're going to start looking at designers. Let's get a ship designer because it makes our ships faster to do. We're going to look up the Atlantic Fleet. Makes our carriers and capital ships have more armor. Our volunteers are back. So let's just throw all of our mountaineers into that army. We're gonna throw, you know, let's throw tanks and trucks into that other army. Really don't need the Cavalier. So you're down to 24. So now he's down to 24. Let's give you... this guy. Since you're going to be mostly mechanized units... I'll put Rommel in charge of this. This can be my light. You know, I'll just call it Light Panzer. So he's my Light Panzer army. My Mountain Commandos. I'm going to rename you the German Infantry. Start our third army going on here with infantry. And we'll just call you 2nd Infantry Army. And what infantry is good for? Infantry is good for holding the line and things like that. So I'm gonna have Rommel be my main spearhead. The other guy there is gonna be my heavy tank guy. All right, Denmark has been given our befriendment. So Norway controls much of the precious iron exports from the west, mines in northern Sweden. We should intimidate them into friendship with the threat of our expanding navy. So, for now, this happens with speed time up to max. 5 days, we'll have this going. So, kind of like a game of Civ, this is kind of the waiting part of the game, the early part, until you're actually at war with somebody. There's really not much going on. Yeah. Actually, no, let's go back to Navy. Learn how better battleship. And what I'm gonna eventually do is when that finishes there, the I'm pointing on my hand and not my mouse. Sorry. When this finishes here, we're gonna start building that when we have some free factories, and we're gonna stick that in the Kriegsmarine, and that's gonna be the flagship of the Kriegsmarine. It's our first aircraft carrier. I'm gonna try and go for I think 2 carriers, but for now, something we're gonna want to do is we're gonna go here to air. I'm gonna click this little icon, and what that does is sort of research a carrier-capable version of that ship. So first, we're gonna do naval bombers. We're gonna get a version of this plane that can land on carriers. We can equip our aircraft carriers with bombers, and then we'll do the same thing for our. What was the BF-109 I just saw? Yeah, our BF-109s. We'll get the AR-197, which is the naval version of the 109. Basically, not exactly, but basically. Crew deploy. Yeah, things are going on pretty swimmingly there. All right, so we got 5 factories freed up. So let's start. Sometimes it does that when you click on something, it starts building something completely different. No, that's not what I want. I want you to build. I hate my scroll right now. This carrier. Let's build 2. It's going to take 2 years to build this carrier. So by then we might actually have researched a better carrier. So let's just build 1 for now. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright, so our industrial stuff's pretty much caught up, so let's do this, which lets us research electrical technologies faster. Alright, we're about to quote-unquote befriend Norway. So now let's befriend Sweden. The Scandinavian countries are like dominoes. They stand and fall together. With Norway and Denmark in our sphere, Sweden will surely follow. So you will go to Kriegsmarine. And we're going to ship those factories once those 2 submarines are done to building our carrier faster. And when the destroyers are done, we'll shift them to building our new battleship. Alright, our battleship's done being researched. Research our carrier and fighters. Nope, wrong guy. I want to give you a Rommel. Alright, 737, so let's get our machine tools going so we can increase our production caps. I'll likely put some infantry eventually into that tank army so that they can sit and hold the line as he's pushing, but who do we want to have design our aircraft? That's kind of important. Not for now. Let's do this. Let's do our artillery design so our artillery research is faster. We're going to want to upgrade those soon. Yeah, we're going to upgrade those in a couple of years. Alright, let's get our logistics company. The Dutch know full well how long they will last in the case of another great war. If they can be convinced that Germany can seriously threaten Britain itself, it is possible they might choose alliance with us to avoid a harsh occupation. Now, it occurs to me that I haven't actually looked at my chat in, like, the last hour. Hey! People are actually in my chat. Okay, time paused. Now time's paused, I gotta take a chance to look at my chat. Hello, people. If any of you are still here. Gotta go ahead and answer a couple of these things here. Not really questions. Yeah, I know the UK Navy is around the world at the start, Braden. but they also have a pretty sizable series of ship forces around just mainland England as well, because they got the Channel Force and the Northern Fleet and everything else going on. I don't know what that second guy said. I'm assuming that's Russian. Zahn, did you run that through fucking Google Translate? Also, Zahn, why aren't you in here? Get the fuck in here. Where are you in here? Hang on. Where's Discord? You're not in here. Oh, I do have a mention in Discord, though. It's fucking Neotag. Whatever, I'll answer that question later.
Hello.
Hey, you fucking are. Hey, how's it going? I'm just getting tired of talking to myself in here. I can only explain so much when I'm actually not doing anything.
It only occurred to me when you said, why is he not in the Discord? I'm like, oh, yeah, he might be in.
It's like, oh, right, I can actually get inside his chat. I could be a voice in his head. And monitor his chat for him, because he can't really look at it at the same time he's playing the fucking game.
Yeah. Since I started watching, not much has changed.
I mean, yeah, no, you are literally the last comment on there, so I can see that.
Yeah.
So, is it as boring as I think it looks?
Actually, no, I'm quite intrigued by it.
The game itself, I find, it was very intriguing when I just saw, like, videos of it. I mean, I got introduced to it through the memes, and then the videos of it. Yeah. Because I wanted to understand the memes, so I started watching, like, actual, like, videos of, like, people playing the fucking game. Alright, I am now producing just way too much fucking infantry equipment, so let's...
Yeah. Really, the only reason I run that through Google Translate because I couldn't be bothered to actually remember the proper translation.
Fair enough. It does actually show up occasionally on like the little newspaper things that pop up if you conquer certain cities as Germany. It'll like end the news article for the fatherland, which I like. I like little touches like that. Start building that battleship. Yeah, no, we need to put an extra factory on you. I hate sometimes when time's going, like as it's like cycling past the day at high speed, it doesn't register your mouse clicks occasionally. It's like, nope, you can't click right now. I'm currently cycling the data to the next day.
Yeah, I was in here when I saw kind of like the last end of the war in Spain.
Okay, yeah, that's not too far then. That was probably like what, a half hour ago.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's April 37th, so I can't really do anything here. I guess
the war hasn't officially begun yet.
Well, that's kind of the great thing about playing as Germany, is as Germany, for the most part, barring the AI just getting so far down their trees that the only option they have left is to do the automatic war Germany options, you kind of set the pace of when the war starts. So, if I really want to, I think about the latest I've delayed the war as Germany before someone else just declares war on me was around, like, 1941, 42.
Okay.
I think it's I'm pretty sure it's entirely possible, even playing as fascist Germany, to avoid war longer than that, but I think it involves some pretty serious finagling. Shit, what can I actually research that isn't going to take like forever because it's ahead of schedule, and I just don't need it. Construction. Always need faster construction. Okay, we got another modified government. So let's get tank designer set up. Obviously, we go with Porsche because we need more armor. I find it funny that Porsche, the company that gets associated with fast cars in today's society, is in this game, the guys who make the big heavy tanks, they give you the armor bonus, so it's kind of funny to me.
Now I'm just a little disappointed in Borscht now. Why can't I phone them up and ask them to make me a tank?
Look, Porsche, just make me a King Tiger, okay? I want my commuter scooter to be a King Tiger. I don't care that I get like maybe 2 miles to the gallon. Actually, that's probably being generous for a tank circa World War II. That's probably being very generous, but still.
Sometimes I am half convinced that most of the time when the tanks are moving, it's just inertia of the force that's coming through.
Probably. Alright, I need to get more chromium. I need more oil.
So what's the best things about befriending the Scandinavian countries as you're finished?
Having not 100% done it, I usually get like maybe half of them converted over and into the Axis before they'll start declaring war on the other ones.
Okay.
Which kind of completely fucks over any attempt at inviting them into the faction. But basically what it is you get access to their navies, because their navies will help you in war. Which is incredibly useful if your end goal is to go after the English mainland. Because you don't have to conquer Norway and Sweden and all of them to get their ports and their dockyards to build a fleet. You're just going to get their fleets as part of the Axis. And because you didn't have to fight to get them, they're not going to be weakened from being at war with you and you sinking half their ships. And vice versa. So you're both going to have fresh navies and more ships than you would have otherwise. So that's the real, like, main benefit in my mind.
Okay.
It also means that Norway and Denmark can't block off the Danish bells here, because that's a natural naval choke point, and they control the land that basically makes that choke point.
Right.
I think right now Norway controls it, I want to say. But yeah, but since that choke point's controlled, if that country were to ever join the Allies, that blocks any fleets based out here from getting out into the Atlantic. So I can't get my ships out unless I can fight them through that choke point and take the bit of land guarding it. Same thing with the Mediterranean, because if you're Italy, pretty much all of your navy that isn't already in Africa is locked in the Mediterranean, because the UK has the Suez Canal and they got the Straits of Gibraltar. So you have to dislodge one or the other with your army before you can get your troops out, your ships out. If you ever get nationalist Spain into the Axis, Gibraltar falls in like a fucking heartbeat. It's hilarious. At that point, the Spanish just kind of come and it's like, and Gibraltar's ours again. Thank you. Yeah, there's a couple choke points like that just it's very handy to control them. I think there's another one down here. Yeah, there's a canal here that Germany has, which is our only way in and out. But frankly, it's easy to lose that canal in the event that Denmark ever joins the Allies, and all your forces are focused elsewhere. You can't really bring them up north in time before Denmark just takes that canal and builds up a defensive line. If I run out of all the oil the Soviet Union can give me, god damn it. Alright, Venezuela, start giving me oil.
Hello, friends.
Hello, Flux. I'm streaming. For like the first time in forever.
Ugh. Would you do that?
I wanted to play Hearts of Iron and I wanted to show it off. I know Red Fox is interested, so I thought, hey, I'll stream it for a bit so people who are interested in the game in my little circle can get an idea of what the game's about, what's going on. Alright, I'm going to keep trading to England for my rubber. Little do they know I'm using it to slowly destroy them.
Someday
all that rubber is going to come back at them on my tanks. They're going to be like, oh no, we were fools. We never should have given Germany so much rubber.
So, some guy or girl with a letter language that I don't understand has typed in tank.
Yes, they
That's
have.
about it. I just thought I'd update you on that.
Yeah, as soon as you said like the language thing, I'm like, and she typed in something you don't understand. I was like starting to tab out to see what it was. All right, the Hindenburg survived. I still haven't figured out what that does. I know what Amelia Earhart surviving does, because sometimes Amelia Earhart just doesn't disappear. I still haven't figured out what the Hindenburg does. Because I've slowly discovered that every single news article that pops up has the possibility of having some relevance down the road to somebody. Alright, so our focus tree for our Navy is done. So let's start innovating our Army. Alright, our troops in the field are woefully low, so let's just force deploy a bunch of untrained shitheads just so we have boots on the ground. Because my biggest threat right now is that I don't make an alliance with Russia. I'm telling you that right now, Zon. If war happens before I can get enough manpower to qualify for the treaty with Russia, I am automatically fucked. Because
that's not good.
Because eventually Russia will declare war on me if I'm not allied with them, and they will steamroll the shit out of me. I have yet to get good enough at this game where I can build nearly enough troops to fight the Allies and Russia at the same time and do it effectively. That is just a level of management skill in this game that I've not quite yet reached. Because a lot of this game I'm discovering is the early game management in this step, where you're just building and waiting for time to pass by and just deciding what you're doing where. This has a huge impact on once the war starts. Because once the war starts, half the stuff I'm doing right now, I just won't have the time or resources to do. Because all the resources that are pumping out these troops are going to have to go almost exclusively to either upgrading my guys as I'm building new stuff, or replacing dead soldiers. Which means I won't have nearly enough stuff to send out to get trained. So, this is actually like a very crucial step of the game. And that's just how are you prepping for the war? Because it is coming. No matter what you do, unless you're playing as a completely neutral nation who's in no way, shape, or form near the fighting going on. Like, if I'm just playing as Cuba off in the corner, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And I can expect to go through the entire game without ever once going to war. But I'm playing Germany. Sooner or later, either I'm going to declare war on somebody, or they're going to declare war on me. And I need to make sure that I'm ready to do it on my terms. Because once it starts, I do not have the luxury of changing my mind. That's the other thing. Once the war starts in this game, you can't just end the war and be like, oh, I'm sorry. You have to fight it until one side is forced to surrender or the other.
Oh, jeez.
There is no, my bad, we bros, K. There is, no, the war has started. This doesn't end until every major leader of the losing faction is taken out of this war. And then that automatically starts a treaty where the winning side gets to take whatever pieces of the losers they want. And you get jack all say in it. If you're lucky, you won't just get completely eliminated from the game and kicked out to the main menu. If you're not, they'll just completely take your territory, make it theirs, you don't have a country anymore, you don't no longer exist. Okay, game over.
So, I did a little investigating, and with the best of my knowledge with the Googles, the mystery person is typing in Thai.
Okay. I will take your Google word for it.
Googles.
Google, you maybe translate things. Reminds me, how's my ships doing? How's my fancy new navy? God damn it, I still needed 1.12 years to build my first aircraft carrier. I should probably set my battleships to actually go to my battleship fleet. And I'm going to build one of you, because it's really all I have time to build before I could have just built a better one. Oh, there we go. Amelia Earhart circumnavigates the globe. Which
Yay!
is going to be a problem for me down the road, because that means she's going to turn into an ace pilot for the Americans later.
Oh.
And we'll actually give them the option of getting more manpower for their military by allowing women to serve in the Air Force.
because she could prove that
Because
women can.
Because she can prove that women can fly just as well as men. So if she successfully navigates the globe without disappearing, it eventually triggers an event down the road if America is at war, where they can be like, yeah, no, Amelia Earhart wants to form an all-women flight corps. Nah, cool.
Yeah, she proved her salt.
Free ace pilot without having to earn it, and free manpower for planes. Alright, what do I want to focus on for my... Who's got... What about medium? Tactical bombers are pretty flexible. They can pretty much do whatever. So we got Focke-Wulf going for our airplanes. We'll have our army innovation soon, which I forgot to read. Heinz Guderian. Again, I probably mispronounced that. And other radical theorists are pushing for daring new doctrines emphasizing communication, identification, and Schwerpunks, which I also probably mispronounced, and local concentrations of combined arms forces. Giving them free reins might help avoid the meat grinder horrors of the Great War. And now that's researched. God damn it, now the English are fucking exerting influence on Greece. Fuck you. Leave Greece alone. They're mine to toy with, or Italy's to toy with. I meant Italy's. Sorry, Mussolini, I totally don't plan on sniping them from you. I totally do. That is actually an option. You can technically beat Italy to the punch if they go on long enough to just be like, nah, I'm at war with Greece now. Germany wants Greece. Italy dragged their heels too long. Alright, so I'm going to do the treaty with USSR, because that's going to allow me to basically just build medium tanks like 5 years earlier or something ridiculous. Because if I recall... there goes the Marco Polo Bridge incident. So, war with China and Japan's about to start soon. Hang on, Yeah, 1939 is when I'd normally be allowed to start researching Panzer IIIs without any sort of a penalty. And in 70 days, I'll have a thing that just makes it so I can just build them with 100% reduction in how much penalty I have. So it'll be as if it was like the current year to build them. Plans and reserves. I got no template for you guys, which is fine for now. Just gonna shit you guys out for a second here. Some more tanks, some more SS trucks, and what am I at now? Alright, 563,000. Alright. Who's got like the most like shit heel guys that haven't been trained? You? Alright, I want you to start doing war exercises to get your guys trained up. When you're done, I could have my other guys do those too. I do like that. If you do like force the guys out early, you're not at war, you can just take your time and like do war exercises to train your guys up. Even the guys that come out of basic training, fully trained, there is another tier you can get them to just by doing this. You can get them from trained to regulars. But for now, alright, you're done. You're all at least trained. So you are now going to start doing some war games. Get your guys up to snuff.
I forget about Luxembourg.
Dude, apparently Luxembourg is fucking terrifying in this game if you play as them. Apparently,
Just let.
the hardest part about winning the game as Luxembourg is taking over Belgium.
Oh.
Once you have Belgium, if you're fascist Luxembourg, the world is yours for the taking.
What?
Yeah, turns out Luxembourg is kind of fucking badass. Yeah, if you know what you're doing and you're like really and you're actually like genuinely good at this game, the only thing that stops Luxembourg from taking over the world is taking over Belgium to get more factory space. Because eventually what'll happen is you partner with the Axis up until you've destroyed the Allies and you've destroyed the Soviets, and then you just leave the Axis and turn on them, and then just destroy the Axis as Luxembourg, and then form your own alliance with the remaining countries by just puppeting everybody.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, I watched the video on it. It's fucking hilarious. I'm not nearly that good yet. I'm still trying to learn how to play non-major powers better because I want to do the 2 Mexico achievements. You know, I'm gonna do. I can't take you yet. Fuck. I take the guy that trains my divisions faster. Start researching more warfare. There we go. Japan's not fighting China. Alright, I got my research boost, so let's get that Panzerwagen 3. Actually, I get another research boost if I do this for it, so I'm gonna save that to get 100 and something %, and I'm gonna learn how to build a heavy battleship. Let's get me some super battleships. How long? It's gotta be 1940 before I can effectively research the Bismarck. God damn it. Chinese United Front, alright. I should have built one more of those guys. Fuck it. Alright. Let's figure out how radio works. Start improving our infantry weapons. Pause time. Oh, Zon, you want to know a funny little tidbit about this game?
All right.
If I was in Germany, this portrait of Hitler wouldn't be there. It would be a
Ah,
shadowy figure, because they put a shadow filter over it in Germany.
makes sense.
And there are at least 50 mods to remove that filter. There's also a bunch of mods that just add swastikas to the flag. So, apparently there's enough people out there that are pissed off about the historical inaccuracy of the flag not having the swastika in the circle that people have just been modding in the original German flag.
Well, you know.
Also, I've officially found what is probably the laziest flag in this game in one of my games.
What is it?
If you finish the war as anyone, and Germany gets split in half as per the actual, treaty between the Allies and the Soviets, and then the Soviets take over West Germany and puppet that as a separate country from East Germany, it literally is just the German flag with the hammer and sickle on it. It's not even like a good hammer and sickle. It's like someone took like a TF2 tag spray of a hammer and sickle and slapped it on there.
So very Soviet.
It's just like that. That's just copy and pasted onto the flag. It looks copy and pasted. Ooh, what do I want to do here? This is where the game starts making me choose shit. Do I keep my advisors in China while they're at war with Japan or not? No, my advisors will stay. I plan on becoming friends with the Russians, so I'll also be friends with China instead of Japan. Even though I'll probably end up friends with both. Oh, don't you fucking dare. Don't you dare interfere in Scandinavia, England. That is my house. What's the world tension at? 18%. Let's just do air innovations for now. We can do the Rhineland later. Ooh, dockyards are free, so... Alright, I'm gonna start building some convoys. Get my convoy limit up higher. And start building a second carrier. We'll send you to the Kriegsmarine.
Be back in a moment.
Okie dokie. How close are you guys to flipping? Not close enough. renovations are done. I've stopped reading these, didn't I? Ah, fuck it. Starting to concentrate too much. Some actual infantry in your army. No, let's just put you in the infantry army. Men in Black, honestly, I have no idea who half the people are. I love my World War II history. My World War II history is very much on the macro scale, not so much the micro scale. I'm a fan of the broad strokes. It's time to suck in Austria like a drink from a Slurpee. Slurp, slurp.
So Sylvain,
So Fluxin.
can I talk to you about the fact that Neotag, the man who was the most staunchly opposed to going evil against campaign, turned it onto genocide?
I know.
It's beautiful.
It is. Especially when he realizes that there's probably more than one place that these things live.
Oh,
to do what you're proposing, I think you're fully prepared to go out and like hunt down every like city these things have and destroy them all. I don't think Neotag realizes that that's what he's committing to right now. Neotag is proposing to join you in hunting down all the Sahagwin in my campaign and destroying their empire. Damn it, I don't know who I actually want to... I think I'm just going to wait till I have 250.
I mean, I won't seek them out, but I'll kill them on sight and definitely destroy the city. That's right, the city or settlement that's right near the village.
I'm back. I just wished my grandmother a happy Mother's Day.
Oh yeah, Zon, I meant to ask this. Do you want to accelerate your fort plans a little bit just because we're going to be having that time skip and you have a shit ton of money?
Say no, Zon, say no.
I mean, Zon doesn't have to actively be part of anything involving his fort. He just has to put down the money down, like, build this. I'll be back for the jungle later. Here's money. Build my shit. I'll be back.
Yeah, I still will probably want to take that level 9 feat when we get to that point.
Yeah, which will just allow you to expand with more money at that point.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah, I'll probably do that. I like to expand that fort. Whatever Fuck says. Within his infinite wisdom. I'll throw down a down payment.
Yeah, because right now I think you literally have enough money to build an actual, like, stronghold. I'll have to get you, like, the math and numbers again when I have a chance, because I think that was all down on my other notebook. That has mysteriously disappeared for some reason, and I always find it again when I don't need it, and then just it disappears again even though I don't move it. So I'm somehow just actively forgetting where it is every time I look away from it.
It'd be interesting seeing Zod's character deal with the genocide.
But, I mean, technically all he has to do is just let it happen and take no active part of it.
Yeah.
Just be like, I don't see anything wrong here.
I mean, he can judge you for it, but he doesn't have to, like, act on that judgment like a paladin would. He can just be like, well, that wasn't very nice.
Yeah.
Damn unsporting of you.
Those were fish babies. Jesus Christ, man.
I said, you just murder a fish baby.
You just deep fry that fish baby and feed it to its mother. I mean, that's a bit much.
Yeah, you know what? That kind of attitude might not get you.
That's when Promo's like, I could have done worse with it.
Could have been so much worse.
You know, I'm not disappointed that you did. I'm just disappointed in the lack of expertise.
I'm not disappointed. I'm disappointed.
He just critiques from the sidelines. He's a backseat genocider.
I'm just disappointed at your lack of sauce pairings.
Just because Zon isn't allowed to actively partake in such dishonorable acts as a knight doesn't mean that he hasn't spent a lot of time thinking about what would happen if he could.
Oh yeah, like I said, like I argue that I might be able. It really depends on how I would stretch it. That I could be a lawful evil knight. I'm just like,
Hooray! I just slurped up Austria. Slurp, slurp.
Cool.
Now, France has already joined the Allies at this point, so... And I want to avoid... I have the manpower! Yes! Fuck it! We're going for this now! We need to get this treaty going! It is time, Zod! It is time! I am about to create the unholy beast!
The combination between...
I am literally about to propose to the Soviet Union, hey, we friends?
Uh-oh.
And then, the next step after that, if I can avoid war for another 70 days beyond this 70 days, I go, hey, alliance? I'm just saying, Russia, what if, instead of the Axis and the Comintern, we were the Berlin-Moscow alliance? Actually, I think it's just the Berlin-Moscow axis in this game, but I like the sound of Berlin-Moscow alliance better. Oh yeah, Russia's huge. Hang on, let me zoom out here for a sec, Zon. There's Russia, circa 1938. Behold it and tremble, and know that entire area of land is capable of building factories, pretty much.
The Soviet Union. If we will not beat you by technology, we will beat you by the amount of bodies we can throw at you.
Pretty much. Then here's America, looking just so pathetic by comparison in their tiny little corner of the world. I'm still working on it. I'm getting better at it. I'm slowly learning how to just wreck the United States' day as Mexico.
And then there's
There,
Canada, who
there was
does nothing.
Well, no, Canada's technically still part of England.
Well, that's true.
So that's why Canada starts the game as part of the Axis. All the Commonwealth countries do. Canada, Australia, the British Raj, because that still exists. And if I had the DLC, I could play as the United Kingdom, but then free Egypt to play as Egypt. Where I just spend the entire game just trying to not be a puppet of the United Kingdom anymore when I've been freed. That is my end goal. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, these are all the divisions that were in Austria. I was like, when did I build another fucking cavalry? I need you guys to be in the field, but fuck it. I really didn't want you.
Cavalry!
I don't need your kind in my army.
But see, Soviet, that's also what your opponent is thinking. And then all of a sudden, horses!
Actually, horses do kind of serve a purpose in this game if you're using a garrison force, because they're really good at suppressing revolts. They're cheap, they move fast, and you can basically just assign them a wide area that's too big for the number of units you actually have to cover, and they can just run from revolt hotspot to revolt hotspot at pretty decent speeds, and just keep putting down revolts for you.
Oh, that's good.
Which, in my mind, is hilarious. It's like, it's time. Viva la Is that a horse? Oh my god, is that more horses? Who the fuck has horses? Quickly, scatter! Okay, now they won't know. Fuck, they found where we are again. I can hear the horses. They're not even, like, killing them. It's just they keep running away every time they hear the horses. Like, fuck, now we can't talk around here anymore.
Cavalry.
Damn cavalry, charging at all of our hiding spots. Pretty soon we'll run out of places to make out in secret. Alright, let's build our new super heavy and get that ready to go. My conscription law is pretty good for now. Alright, finally got enough for this. I'm going to go with my mobile warfare expert. Get that delicious, delicious ground doctrine done faster. I think I have enough to do this now. Yeah. I'll duplicate this template and replace all light tanks with heavy tanks. Actually, no, I don't want to do that just yet. I want to do medium tanks first. And what? What? Okay, those are the ones being used up by the Austrians. Frankly, you're better, so I'll get rid of you. Better versions of what I already got, and I don't really need them, but I don't want to get rid of them. God damn. Alright, there's my fucking tanks. Thank you. Alright. Let's get our mechanized infantry going. Tungsten, more oil. International happened. Alright, edit you. Dupe. Medium tanks. Save. Train medium tanks. I'll stop making light tanks soon because I got enough of those. Alright, time to get this alliance started. Good, good. Moscow signs the pact. We are now one step closer. Ah, he's from Australia. Welcome, Australia. I'm on, like, the opposite end of America as you could possibly be from Australia.
What did they want? The treaty?
No, the man in black in my chat room said greetings from Australia. I mean, technically also welcome to Canada, because Zan's up in Canada, but...
Yeah.
Lux and I are over here in the States.
Yes.
Oh, France banned communism, guys.
Uh-oh.
I hope you know that France said that communism is no good.
In the Steve Urkel song, The Hedgehog voice?
Yes. Which I can't do, so that was about the best you're gonna get out of me for that. Why do I keep adding R's to infantry? Infantry. They're frantic. But the dockyard is just freed up, so which means, yep, that battleship's done. Sign it, you beautiful bastards. I'll work on my infrastructure real quick over here and finish the Autobahn. Alright, Russia.
The Autobahn.
Alright, Russia, come on. Do it. Do it. Just say yes.
Do it.
Come on. Come on. I'm not saying anything saying they approved or denied. Did they not take it? Am I borked? Am I fucked? Oh god, guys, am I fucked?
Oh god.
Normally by now I would have gotten the thing saying, hey, they signed it. I'm not saying that they signed it. My entire game plan hinged on this. Oh, welcome to my faction, but I'm not gonna help you if you ask me to get in the war with you. They asked me. Dear God, the United States is already in the... Oh, fuck. I should not have turned that off now in hindsight. I should not have turned off historical focus. Yeah, no, have fun with that. I am not messing with the Allies now. Sorry. They already have America on board, which means the minute that war starts, America's coming over on France. I'm gonna have a hard enough time taking France without America sitting there along the Belgian coast saying, I'm sorry, did you try to go around the forts?
So did Russia give you a nay or a yay?
Russia's giving me a definite, we'll think about it, I guess, because they haven't answered me yet.
So the classic, you are fucked.
Yep. Great, because the minute I go to war anyone, the Allies are just going to jump on me, so I'm going to have to start doing this the diplomatic way. Make a friend with Czechoslovakia. It's too dangerous.
As many allies as you can.
It's too dangerous to ask to go to war with them, because I may just anger the bear. By the bear, I mean the Allies. Oh boy. Fuck me. gonna keep building units while I try to think of what Plan B is. What's going on over here? Huh. Yeah, China's putting up a decent fight. Let me check something real quick. No! Wait! It just automatically accepted. Guys, we're in!
Okay.
Ah, look at that. Look at that. Okay. Okay. Now that I know that... Oh, and all those other countries I tried to make friends with have already joined the Allies. Fuck. Alright. Norway, you're on your own until we get China on board with this. Let's get China in here. Let's get... anyone in here, really, I guess. Because we're going to have to reabsorb all the former Comintern nations.
So Plan A is a go?
Plan A is a go. Plan A is a go. Alright. Alright, let's just stage some political coups in those countries and... Get my heavy panzer army slowly going up here. Oh, well, there goes Norway. They attacked the Soviet Union. Well, alright. Time to go balls deep. Alright, Italy, get in on this. You too, Spain. Alright, you. your front line. Stop drilling. Your front line. What? They convinced Switzerland to join the Allies? The fuck?
It's bullshit.
Damn goddamn backstabbing Swiss!
Teach them to not be neutral.
I mean, they're not neutral. That's the problem. We need to teach them to be neutral. Keep their noses out of other people's wars. Funny enough, Poland, not in the Allies. They're just kind of chilling in the corner there going, oh, good thing nothing bad's happened to us.
You should ally with Poland. Join the Axis.
That is an option.
I need there to be an evil Poland.
There is an option to give, what is it? There's a territory trade you could do to make Poland like you. Yeah, if you own Slovakia from Czechoslovakia, you can trade Slovakia to Poland for Danzig, and then Poland will like you, and you can befriend Poland and make an alliance with Poland.
Get rid of Danzig. He's still good in this era.
Well, no, we'll get Danzig.
Oh, you want Danzig?
Yeah.
Good.
We get rid of Slovakia, and in exchange for giving up Slovakia, we get Danzig. And not just any Danzig. This is Danzig back when he was still in Samhain, so, I mean, this is good Danzig.
Yeah.
Well,
Who doesn't know that Danzig was the linchpin to making an evil Poland?
little did you know, Mother, it's about Poland joining the Axis.
It's becoming really fucked up.
Alright, I'm just going to give all my tanks to Rommel because I have exactly enough to make a full army. I'm just going to have Rommel go and take care of that Czechoslovakia problem so I can go focus on my other border. I'm going to put you... I'm going to put you along the French border at the Maginot Line since you are good at dealing with mountains. And lastly... you will keep Denmark off my back. Alright, now my offensive lines. Your job is to march on Copenhagen. Your job, and I forgot where the hell I told you to go. Probably should have done this all at once. Okay, yeah, that's your color there. Actually, your job, you just hold the line. I'll have my commandos push. Your job is just to break onto the other side of the Maginot Line to that river. Rommel, steamroll the fuck out of Czechoslovakia. And lastly, your job is to go for Amsterdam so we can start going to Brussels next. Everyone cool? Alright, get in position already. Now, if all goes well, the Soviets should be landing on my shores soon to help. If all does not go well, they'll sit there like idiots because Poland's still in the way. Ah, good. Spain already took Gibraltar. That was fast. Now Italy can get the fuck out of their box. Get out of the box. Oh, wait, I need to actually tell my fleets what to do. Kriegsmarine. Your new job is to search and destroy along the North Sea. My Untersee boots. Raid the fuck out of their convoys trying to get in and out of there. And my other Untersee boots. take care of their Baltic convoys, and lastly... Yeah, I know you're repairing. Well, you're on search and destroy now in the Baltic Sea. Do nothing. Baltic Sea. There you go. Order my naval bombers into the Baltic Sea to attack ships. You will fly over here, bomb the shit out of things. Intercept anything coming into Western Germany. Strategic bomb their forts. Weaken that Maginot line for me. Actually, no, I'll do close air support for that. Let's see. Got some bombers near Czechoslovakia. I mean, it's a bit overkill, but fuck it. Help out the boys on the ground. And beat the shit out of their ability to build shit. And all of you can go to northwestern Germany. And do whatever the fuck it is you do. There we go. Battle plan set. And engage plans. So... Russia, what are you up to? What are you doing? Are you even participating? Supposedly they're participating 81% of this war. I highly doubt that. Research is done. Let's upgrade our support companies. Couple heavy tank destroyers. Duplicate. Replace the medium tanks with outright heavy tanks. Save that. Train you guys out. Oh dear God, what? I'm losing to Czechoslovakia! God damn it. That is unacceptable. I haven't taken any territory for them to take yet. Yeah, fuck it, Hungary, get in on this. Alright, they're attacking my convoys of Venezuela, but fuck it. As long as I push back the Czechs, I don't care. That's not what I told you to build. Probably a little fucked on the rubber for now, but that's okay. Alright, that's more like it. That's what I want to see. Czechoslovakia being swallowed from two sides. Factories. Cancel those refineries. Let's get back to... How have they not... There, yeah, let's say, how have they not surrendered yet?
So, like, did you see the new trailer for Total War 2?
I have not seen the trailer. Hang on a second, Fluck.
The one with the in-game?
Yeah, the in-game trailer.
Oh, I love it. Of course, I'm just stoked about the game in general, so, you know.
Alright, I'm actually going to have to call it here for the night in the next autosave. So I am needed elsewhere. You know what? I am tired of you resisting me. So we'll send Rommel up there. An assistant taking Amsterdam. And next autosave should go one over the weekends. There it goes. Alright, so we're going to save it there. Probably pick it up a bit tomorrow before I go to work. And I hope this was entertaining to somebody, although judging by my surprisingly high viewer count of more than 0.
So, pretty bad game.
That's because I wasn't doing something with you, Flux. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and quit. And I will be back streaming tomorrow sometime. Where's my stop stream button? There it is.